Welcome to Vacuum Wars, and to our review and comparison of two robot vacuums from Eureka, the J15 Pro Ultra and the J20. Despite their similar sounding names, they are very different robot vacuums. In fact, one of them I consider to be very good, and one of them is not so good. We bought both of them and have been testing them in various ways over the past several weeks, and in this video I'll go over the results. So links in the description, and let's get started. First, the basics. There's a very confusing name situation that I want to address first because the J20, despite it being a higher number than the J15, is actually about a year older than the J15. The J15 is also a bit better in terms of its specs and features, so the J15 is actually newer and, at least on paper, better than the J20. Starting off with their vacuuming performance, I would say that in terms of sweeping up debris from the surfaces of hard floors and carpets, they were evenly matched. They both have one side brush and a very similar style main brush in a floating housing, though the J15 also has an anti-hair tangle feature that the J20 does not. The J15 actively cuts hair from its roller using a metal component inside the brush housing. We were able to confirm that it did well with this in our 7-inch hair tangle test, where the J15 left only 4% of the hair on the roller, compared to the J20, which left 84% of the hair. So a pretty big difference. The J15 also did better with picking up flattened 2.5-inch hair on carpet, where it picked up 92% of the hair compared to only 65% of the hair with the J20. This trend continued with our carpet deep clean test, where we test how good they are at picking up heavy and deeply embedded debris like sand from medium pile carpets, where the J15 had a respectable score of 72%, but the J20 was significantly below average at 41%. Obstacle avoidance was another area that they differed significantly. The J15 uses a front-mounted camera and structured light to recognize and avoid obstacles, where the J20 only has structured light and no camera. And in our various obstacle avoidance tests, the J15 had right at the average score. Not amazing, but okay, where the J20 was well below average with all the obstacle avoidance tests. They both have very advanced multi-function charging docks that wash their mop pads, dry their mop pads, and refill their mop tanks. But the J15 has a few advantages here over the J20. For example, the J15 uses hot water for washing its pads, where the J20 does not. Also, the J15, in addition to washing its own mop pads, also has a self-cleaning mop station, where it uses 2 squeegees in the base to clear out debris that can build up, though they both have a removable tray for manual deep cleaning. Moving on to their mopping performance and features. They use completely different mopping strategies. The J20 has a flat mop roller design, which even among roller mops is a rare design, where the J15 uses a much more standard 2 spinning mop pads. The J15 also has an automatically extending mop pad for getting closer to edges, where the J20's roller does not have a similar feature. The J15's mop pads lift up 12 millimeters when it senses carpets to avoid getting carpets wet, where the J20 shifts the cloth on its roller to its non-absorbent side to effectively do the same thing, though its mop pad does not lift up. As far as actual mopping performance on dried-on stains, this is one area where the J20 did better than the J15. In our dried-on stain test, they were both above average, but the J20 was better. One of the best scores on record, actually. And it got that great score while leaving behind very little water, something that we've determined was important in a recent video. The J15 left behind an average amount of water with an above-average stain removal score, so it was above average overall, but the J20 was better. Another area that they differed was with battery life. In our tests, we found that the J15 was a little above average in every battery metric, things like battery efficiency and estimated square foot per charge. But the J20 was significantly below average in these same tests, despite it having a higher official battery life rating from Eureka. They use the same basic app, and I was generally impressed with both. I think Eureka does a good job of including all the features that really matter, and it's on par with some of the best apps in the industry. It has things like multi-level mapping, virtual barriers, real-time progress monitoring, carpet boost, and much more. And the ratings on the app stores are good as well. So while Eureka has produced two very different robots here, I look at all this as a good sign for Eureka. The J20 was Eureka's first flagship robot vacuum, which was released a year ago, and it was a flop in my opinion. But they regrouped and this year put out a real contender with the J15, especially considering its price compared to other flagship robot vacuums with similar features. And after adding up all the scores, the Eureka J15 Pro Ultra rocketed to number 6 on our top 20 robot vacuum list at our website, where the J20 didn't even make the list, but as of this video is ranking around 36th place. Links in the description, and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars before you leave. Thanks for watching. All of the links in the description are updated regularly to reflect our current favorite vacuums in multiple categories. You'll also find links to the Vacuum Wars website in the description, where we have more detailed lists of our favorite products, like our new top 20 robot vacuums list, which is updated weekly.